Hi everyone, we're doing a Gobi Manchurian today, or cauliflower, as Gobi is. We're going to be deep frying the Gobi or cauliflower, and we're going to be using a nice Indo-Chinese style sauce, which the Gobi will be deep fried with corn flour and some seasoning. And we're going to probably use the wok and give it some flavouring and finish it off with a bit of spring onion. So first things first, I've got quite a large cauliflower here. I'm probably not going to eat all of it, so I'm just going to take a little bit off of it. So take the packaging. Some people keep the leaves, I personally don't. Scrape the leaves off. And what we're going to do is we're going to pass cook the cauliflower before we decide to deep fry it. So this is, usually the leaves come off a lot easier than that. I made a bit of a mess. So first things first, what I normally do is I cut the cauliflower here and makes it nice and easy to work with. So get rid of that. And there we go. So a couple more leaves, pull them off. I know a lot of people use them for soup and other bits and pieces. And obviously you can buy cauliflower already pre-cut. So I'm going to do a bit of a cut down here. There we go. And then you can see here you've got the different florets here. So I'm just going to cut that down here. Now obviously if you have a small cauliflower, probably won't have that problem. So I don't need that bit, don't need any of this. And then I've got the cauliflower that comes apart really easily. So in terms of what I need for the dish, I'm probably going to use just over half the cauliflower. So I'm just going to separate it like this, and then put it in a separate bowl, or a pan rather, and then we're going to lightly boil it. Don't want to boil it too much, and then we will coat it and then fry it. So I'll be back in a couple of minutes. There we go guys, so there's the cauliflower. I sort half a cauliflower, the other half I've kept here. So there is another video on my channel called how to make aloo gobi, which is essentially cauliflower and potato. Check it out. Probably going to do that with this tomorrow. So first things first, I'm going to put some boiling hot water into here, and I'm going to simmer it for a probably around about 7 or 8 minutes. So once that's a little bit soft, then we can look to deep fry it, and then I'll take you through the ingredients for the sauce in a second. So that's the pan full with warm to hot water from the kettle. Now I'm going to put it on the medium gas, leave it for a few minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes to get them to be slightly soft, and then I'll take you through the ingredients, which I'm just getting together now. So the gobi's been in the water for about 5-6 minutes. When I put the water in originally, it was warm water. It wasn't boiling water, just to make you aware. You don't want to boil it too much, otherwise they'll get soggy, and you don't want the gobi to get soggy. So I'll talk you through the ingredients. So I've got a corn flour here. The corn flour is just corn flour. There's no normal flour in it. I just like to use corn flour. We're going to mix some salt and some pepper and some chili powder in there with a bit of water. That'll create the batter for the gobi over here. In terms of the batter, will be deep fried using rapeseed oil. And then I'm going to use this little instrument over here. Use that to scoop out the fried gobi, and then I'm going to put it on some kitchen towel to drain off the excess oil. And then in terms of the sauce, I'll be using some sesame oil, and then what I've got is half a red onion chopped, and I've also got a spring onion chopped as well, and we have more spring onion to finish off later on. In terms of the sauce, I'm using ketchup. I'm using 50% less sugar and salt ketchup. That is on purpose because I'm also going to be adding in some sweet chili dipping sauce, or you can use just generic Thai or equivalent chili sauce. I'm going to be using some sriracha sauce as well. Black rice vinegar. If you can't get hold of black rice vinegar, white wine vinegar, white rice wine vinegar will also do. And then I have some soy sauce as well. And then the special ingredient I'm adding, guys, is this. Now, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Szechuan peppercorn fall. So it's quite expensive, but it does add a new taste dynamic. Think of it as a kind of a half chili, half peppercorn, and it's got a unique ingredient that slightly numbs the mouth, believe it or not. So I've crushed some in there. There's about a teaspoon, so we're going to add that into the sauce as well with the onions, etc., and that'll give a really nice flavour. So that's all of the ingredients. We're going to put this to one side because that's how hot. I'm going to drain that water so it doesn't get soggy, and then we're going to deep fry first. So I've got some oil in the wok over here. You don't need a massive amount of oil. I think I've maybe got about an inch worth of oil. You can always turn the cauliflower or gobi around whilst you're frying it anyways. So we'll just sort the batter out first. So first and foremost, I'm putting in a teaspoon of chili powder. If you don't like chili, you can reduce it or completely remove it completely. I'm next going to put in a little bit of salt, about maybe half a teaspoon of salt. Put that in there. I'm also going to add in some ground black pepper, again about half a teaspoon. We're then going to mix all of that up, as so, and then I'm going to add some water to it and make it into a paste. So I've got some warm water again from the kettle. So then I just want to mix it up, and don't worry if it's a little bit lumpy. And just do it a bit at a time, because otherwise it will become a bit of a mess. Actually, I think that dish might be a little bit small. I'm going to go grab a bowl and we'll do it in the bowl. I'm sure it'll be easier in there. There we go, transferred it into a bowl. Give me a bit of extra room. Bit of water. Just mix that up. And then we'll add some more water in a minute or two once I've mixed it all up. I'm using a spoon to mix this, but you can probably use a much larger spatula. Just first thing I had to hand. So you see how that's really thick? We don't want it thick, we want it a little bit runny. So we'll put some more water in. Notice how I'm just building up bit by bit. So I'll keep adding water, we'll keep mixing it until we get to the desired consistency. So there's the batter nearly done, guys. So it's nice and thick. There are a few lumps still in there. If you're so bothered by it, you can sieve the flour before you put it in the first place. If you keep mixing it, it'll sort it out. I ended up using one of these rather than a spoon, found it easier. Or if you've got a hand blender, you can use a hand blender. So that is quite nice and thick. So I'm going to dip the cauliflower in there and then deep fry it. When I deep fry it, the fry is going to make a lot of noise, so you're probably not going to be able to hear me. But basically, we'll put it in, we'll deep fry it, and we'll take it out, and that stage one will be complete. So I'm just putting the gobi in, making sure it's nicely coated. Be careful, the oil's not too hot, guys, it will spit, so just be very careful. And obviously as you introduce something a bit colder into the oil, it calms it down a little bit. So hopefully should get a good amount in the first sitting, and then there's a load more to be put in yet. You can make this dish as a starter, or you can have it as a main course, depending upon how much liquid you put in. So when we make the mains, it's going to be a moderately dry, not too saucy dish, but of course you can make it saucy if you want it as a mains with rice or noodles or a chapati or whatever. So I've just turned the heat up a little bit. It was on minimal, and you can see here the oil's not completely covered at all. I've done that on purpose, not to waste any oil. Lots of people keep that oil and use it various times. I do single use normally, but that's just me. So I'm just trying not to waste too much oil. So we're going to turn it over in a sec. Just going to turn over this. Just so it's nicely covered. I've put quite a lot in here, so you can see there's a few bits of stuck together. If you do it in smaller pieces, that'll avoid that from happening. So I'm just going to continue that, keep moving it around. Then once it's nicely fried, we're going to put it in some kitchen towel just to drain off the excess oil. You basically want to fry this until it becomes a golden colour. Bearing in mind it's cauliflower, you can't really undercook it. The only thing you could do is, by not frying it enough, you won't get that crispy edge on it. So you want to fry it long enough so it's crispy and you've got a nice golden look to it. But obviously if you do it too much, then you're going to burn it and it'll be too crispy. So you just want to have a look at a nice golden look to it. There's a few pieces getting a bit golden there, but so a few more minutes and then we'll take these out and then we'll put the next batch in. So that's all of the cauliflower been deep fried and taken back out. Sorry, one thing I forgot to mention, when I showed you the corn flour, it was actually half regular flour, half corn flour. So you can see here, got nice and crispy, nice little batter on the outside. So I've just briefly cleaned the wok. First thing I'm going to do is add in some sesame oil. Put some of that in there. About 2 tablespoons ish. And then I'm going to put in the onions, the spring onion. And then we're going to stir that around a little bit, and we'll I'll take a few minutes. It's on low to medium heat, so not too hot. So once you want these to be not too soft, still want a bit of a crisp on it. You can add some pepper if you wish. So I'm going to add half a pepper to this as well, and then that just gives it a little bit more to the dish. So we'll add the pepper next. Throw the peppers in. I've kept them nice, big and chunky bits. And then once they are a little bit cooked, we're then going to add the sauces and then add the gobi in. So I'm going to come back in a couple of minutes to this and then we'll put the sauces in. So the onions are starting to brown, so that's a perfect time to start adding the sauce in. So it's only been a few minutes. So we'll start off with the ketchup. So I'm going to use 1, 2, 3 tablespoons of tomato ketchup. We'll put in 1 tablespoon of sriracha sauce. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of sweet chili sauce. I'm going to put in a tablespoon of black rice vinegar. And then I'm going to put a tablespoon of soy sauce in. I'm not going to add any more salt in because the soy sauce has already got quite a bit of salt in it. So that's all that in there. I've got some hot water in a kettle as well. So that smells really nice. So I'm next going to put in the spice that we grounded earlier. So add that in, and that'll add a really nice dynamic. Give that a good mix. Now, as I said earlier, if you want it to be saucy, you can add a bit more water. This is dryish. I'll probably add a tiny bit of water just to give it a bit more. And then we're going to mix in the gobi into this. So if I just put in some water, and don't worry if you add too much water in, because you can always leave it to simmer and the water will disappear. So that's saucy enough. Once we put the gobi in, it will absorb it. So if I start putting gobi in, got quite a lot of gobi actually here. And the gobi will absorb a nice colour off the sauce. Just add the rest in. And as I said earlier, great starter, and you can you have it as a main as well. If you want it as a main, obviously I would probably double up most of the ingredients and a bit more water. So you can see there, hopefully it's absorbed all of the colour really nicely. You could obviously add food colouring to the batter, or even at this stage if you were really wanting a specific colour, but I wouldn't recommend it. There we go guys, that's the dish pretty much done. So that's Gobi Manchurian, an Indo-Chinese dish. So I'm going to have this as a starter. Notice how there's no liquid at the bottom because the gobi absorbs it all. Obviously if you want it more saucy, you need a lot more sauce before you put the gobi in. So there's that, and next what I'm going to do is throw in a bit of spring onion. You can also garnish it with some sesame seeds if you like. I'm not going to personally today, but all goes nicely together. Well, thanks for watching everyone. Word of warning, this dish makes a lot of mess in your kitchen. Well, it has in mine today anyways. So thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe to my video, to my channel rather, and please share the video with friends, family, or anybody else that you may want to show it to. So thanks again, and see you soon.